Comforting breakfast. Perhaps it was a plate of scrambled eggs with crispy bacon on the side or a sweet little egg custard to finish. How did it feel? Familiar, right? Like something that brings a sense of home. Simple. Cozy. For many of us, especially as we age or care for someone who is, this kind of meal feels safe, like a small act of nurturing. But what if I told you that some of the food combinations we've trusted for years, those very meals that bring such comfort, could be doing more harm than we realize? Not in a dramatic or immediate way, but in a slow, insidious manner. You see, that plate of eggs, so full of comforting protein, might be quietly causing trouble when paired with certain other common foods. I'm talking about things like raising cholesterol levels, putting strain on the heart, upsetting digestion, and even interfering with how well our bodies absorb the nutrients we need. And here's the thing, most of us don't even notice. We might chalk up a little bloating to the inevitable passage of time, or dismiss the fatigue as just another slow morning. But sometimes, it's not just age. Sometimes, it's what we're putting on the plate. So, whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, or if you're caring for someone you love in that age range, this is something I want you to take seriously. What you pair with your eggs might be quietly making things worse. Not overnight, but over time. And we're here to help you address it before it takes a toll. In today's video, we're going to explore 3 foods that should never be combined with eggs. You'll learn exactly why these combinations can be harmful, what's really happening inside your body, and most importantly, what healthier choices to make instead. We'll keep things simple and easy to follow, because taking care of your health at this stage of life should feel empowering, not overwhelming. So, stick with me until the end, because one of these surprises might just make you reconsider your next meal. It could even be something you've eaten this week. Before we jump in, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment saying egg health if you want more practical tips on how to eat well as you age or care for someone you love. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insights from us here at Evergreen Wisdom. After all, getting older shouldn't mean feeling helpless. Now, let's dive into one of the most comforting, yet potentially troublesome, combinations of all, eggs and processed meats. Think back for a moment to the image of Grandpa Joe. Every morning, like clockwork, he'd rise at dawn, whistling his favorite tune, cooking up a couple of eggs, and frying a few strips of bacon. It's the kind of breakfast that feels like love, warm, familiar, and full of tradition. But what no one saw coming was that, over time, Joe started getting winded just walking to the mailbox. His doctor mentioned high blood pressure, followed by borderline cholesterol, and eventually, heart problems. Yet, no one made the connection. After all, breakfast is supposed to be good for you, right? Here's the truth, eggs themselves aren't the problem. They're a rich source of protein, nutrients, and healthy fats. But when paired with processed meats like bacon, sausage, or ham, you're stacking up cholesterol, saturated fats, and excess sodium, elements that take a toll on your heart and overall health. Let's break it down. Eggs already contain cholesterol. It's important to remember that cholesterol in eggs, when consumed in moderation, isn't necessarily harmful. However, the problem lies in what we pair them with, foods like bacon and sausage. These are ultra-processed, often loaded with preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, which have been linked to increased inflammation in the body. And for older adults, inflammation is more than just a passing buzzword. It's the hidden force behind many serious health conditions, including heart disease, stroke, and even cognitive decline. Consider your arteries as highways, transporting blood to vital organs like your heart and brain. When they become clogged over time, due to years of heavy, unhealthy food pairings, it's like traffic jams building up until eventually, the flow stops. But here's where the issue deepens. Many people believe that a protein-packed breakfast is a surefire way to fuel strength. And when you're young and active, your body might handle the load just fine. However, as we age, our metabolism slows, our blood vessels lose flexibility, and our hearts have to work harder to keep things running smoothly. The same hearty breakfast that once powered you through the day can, over time, start to wear down your system. And the most concerning part? The damage isn't immediate. It accumulates slowly, almost imperceptibly, until one day, there's a health scare. And everyone says, but they ate so well. So, what can you do? You don't have to give up the comfort of a warm breakfast. It's all about rethinking the pairings. Instead of processed meats, consider adding grilled mushrooms. Their meaty texture and umami flavor make them a satisfying substitute, while also offering immune-boosting benefits. Or try avocado, creamy and rich in heart-healthy fats. You can even add fresh tomatoes or spinach for a burst of color, flavor, and extra nutrients. Simple swaps like these allow you to keep the heartwarming essence of your breakfast while nourishing your body with care and respect. While processed meats are one of the biggest culprits, there's another pairing that may seem healthy at first glance, but can quietly disrupt how your body absorbs nutrients: eggs and soy milk. Let me share a story that might feel familiar. Linda, a devoted daughter, had always been attentive to her aging mother's health. After reading an article online, she encouraged her mom to switch from regular milk to soy milk, heart-friendly, lactose-free, and all-around healthier, or so she thought. So, every morning, her mom enjoyed a light breakfast, scrambled eggs, toast, and a warm glass of soy milk. It felt like a positive change, healthier, lighter, modern. But soon, Linda began noticing something troubling. Her mother was complaining of bloating and a tight, uncomfortable feeling that hadn't been an issue before. Some mornings, she seemed unusually tired, even sluggish. Linda chalked it up to the natural aging process, but after a visit to a nutritionist, the truth came to light. It wasn't just age. It was the combination of soy milk and eggs. On their own, eggs are packed with high-quality protein and nutrients like biotin, which supports your skin, hair, and nervous system. However, soy, especially in its milk form, contains something called trypsin inhibitors. Trypsin is an enzyme your body needs to break down protein properly. When soy blocks this process, it makes it harder for your body to fully digest the eggs you've eaten. For a younger person with a faster metabolism, this might not be a significant problem. But for older adults, whose digestive systems naturally become less efficient, this interference can lead to issues with nutrient absorption, bloating, and that sluggish feeling that's difficult to shake. Many people assume soy milk is always the healthier choice, and it certainly can be for some. But the truth is, it's not always the best option when combined with certain foods, especially eggs. It's a reminder that even foods we consider to be health-conscious aren't always perfect when paired together. When you pair eggs with soy milk, you're combining two foods that each offer their own benefits, but together, they can actually cancel each other out. The result? You might feel like you're making a healthy choice, but your body isn't getting the full advantage of what each food has to offer. So, what's the solution? It's simple: avoid eating them at the same time. If you enjoy both, consider spacing them out. Perhaps have your eggs in the morning and save a soy-based smoothie for the afternoon. Or, if you're looking for a breakfast pairing that's gentle on digestion and still dairy-free, opt for unsweetened almond milk. It's lighter, less likely to cause bloating, and doesn't interfere with protein digestion the way soy milk sometimes does. The key is finding combinations that support your body's natural rhythm, not ones that work against it. Now, the third pairing we're going to discuss might surprise you. It's something sweet, something that feels innocent enough, but when combined with eggs, it can have consequences that many of us never see coming: eggs and sugar. This one can be a little harder to hear because it touches on cherished family traditions and fond memories. Take Auntie Ruth, for example. She was the heart of every holiday gathering. At Thanksgiving and Christmas, she had one dish she was always famous for: sweet egg puddings. Soft, creamy, golden on top. The smell would fill the house, and everyone would line up just for a scoop. It was more than just dessert, it was a reminder of childhood joy, of togetherness, of love. But what no one ever discussed was how Auntie Ruth always felt bloated and drained after enjoying her pudding. Sometimes, she'd even feel moody, and no one could understand why. She chalked it up to holiday stress or simply running around too much. But over the years, her symptoms grew worse. The fatigue lingered longer, her memory wasn't as sharp, and eventually, her doctor started monitoring her blood sugar levels. What was really going on? It turns out, the issue wasn't just the sugar, it was the combination of eggs and sugar, especially when cooked together at high heat. See, when these two ingredients are mixed and baked, like in puddings, custards, or cakes, a chemical reaction called glycation can occur. This is when sugar molecules bind to proteins, in this case, the proteins in eggs, and form advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. I know the term might sound complex, but the effects are simple, and unfortunately, serious. AGEs contribute to inflammation and oxidative stress, and for older adults, this can lead to accelerated cellular aging. The real concern is that this combination can increase your risk of serious conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. The thing is, we don't often talk about this because sweet egg dishes feel safe, comforting, even nostalgic. They remind us of family, love, and tradition. We don't want to think of them as harmful. Yes, in small amounts, once in a while, they may not cause immediate damage. But for aging bodies, where systems are slower and inflammation levels tend to be higher, repeated exposure to this combination can do more harm than we realize. We've grown up thinking that a little dessert won't hurt. But the reality is different now, not because we need to fear food, but because we need to be more mindful of how our food choices interact with our aging bodies. So, what can you do if you still crave that sweet comfort? Try sticking to savory egg dishes like veggie omelets, soft-boiled eggs with herbs, or poached eggs on whole grain toast. If you want something sweet, keep it separate. You can still enjoy natural sweeteners like honey or stevia, but don't bake them into your egg dishes. And always pair your sweets with fiber-rich foods, like fruit or oats, to slow down sugar absorption and minimize the impact on your body. Simple shifts, but powerful results. Now that we've explored these three potentially harmful pairings, eggs with processed meats, soy milk, and sugar, it's time to step back and look at the bigger picture. Let's take a moment to reflect on how small, everyday choices can quietly impact our health, and how starting today, you can begin to take control in a gentle, thoughtful, and loving way. It can be difficult, can't it? Realizing that something as ordinary and comforting as breakfast might be slowly affecting our health. The smell of sizzling bacon, the sweetness of a holiday pudding, or even a glass of soy milk, meant with the best of intentions, could be influencing the well-being of someone you love, or perhaps even your own. But this moment right here is not about blame. It's not about feeling guilty, regretting past choices, or wondering why you didn't know this sooner. It's about growth. It's about becoming more aware and using that awareness to take small, meaningful actions. Because now, you see things differently. You've pulled back the curtain and realized that food is not just about flavor or fullness, it's about function. Especially as we age, what we put on our plates can either support our bodies or create strain. But please, don't let this overwhelm you. This is not a story of restriction or fear, it's a story of empowerment. It's about making small, intentional changes that can bring big, lasting benefits. Instead of fearing what's on your plate, you are now someone who understands it. You know how to choose combinations that nourish, not burden. You can say, today, I'll skip the sausage and try sautéed spinach. Or, let's enjoy that egg custard next time with a little less sugar, and maybe just once in a while. These aren't sacrifices, they are investments in comfort, clarity, and longevity. So here's my invitation to you. Take a moment right now to look at your usual breakfast or think about your parents' or spouse's meals. Ask yourself, is there one small change I can make today that might help me or them feel better tomorrow? Change doesn't need to start with massive overhauls. It begins with simple, thoughtful steps that are grounded in love. And here's the most important part, you don't have to give up eggs. You don't have to abandon the meals that bring you joy. You just need to pair them wisely. With the right knowledge, every meal becomes an opportunity, not just to feed your body, but to protect it, to nurture it, and to honor it. You deserve to enjoy your food. And with a few mindful shifts, you absolutely can. Let's quickly recap. The three food combinations you should avoid pairing with eggs are processed meats like bacon and sausage, which overload the heart with unhealthy fats, and sodium, soy milk, which can interfere with nutrient absorption and digestion, particularly as we age, and sugar, especially in baked egg desserts, which can accelerate aging and increase the risk of inflammation and chronic illness. These aren't just theories, they are patterns that we see again and again, backed by real science and real-life stories. And the best part? You can start making changes today. Have you or someone you love ever felt unusually tired, bloated, or foggy after a big breakfast or a sweet treat? Have you ever wondered if it might be more than just getting older? Share your story in the comments. Your experience could help someone else recognize something they hadn't noticed in their own life. We learn so much more when we learn together. If this video made you pause, opened your eyes to something new, or simply gave you a fresh perspective on nutrition, don't leave without subscribing to Evergreen Wisdom. Let's keep growing together. Every day, we offer you simple, heartfelt advice to help you, or someone you love, live with more clarity, comfort, and confidence in the later years of life. Aging shouldn't be a source of fear. It should be something sacred, a chapter in your journey filled with purpose and wisdom. So, stay hopeful. Keep learning. And always remember, growing older doesn't mean growing weaker, it means growing wiser. With just a little care, a little knowledge, and a lot of love, your best years truly can still lie ahead. Stay safe, eat smart, and we'll see you in the next video.